Let's see how many white vans we can spot today. Here we go again. We are back together live on YouTube. Isn't it nice to see me and also you together again? And I couldn't resist showing you a little bit of autumn outside my window right now. There it is in my garden, a little splash of autumn colour to start off today's live stream. Here we go again. Yes, we are back, and it is English Addict Quick Fix coming to you live from the birthplace of the English language, which just happens to be, oh my goodness, it's England. Yeah. Moo moo moo, bear bear bear, moo bear moo bear moo bear moo bear moo bear. Oh, sorry about that. Hi everybody, this is Mr. Duncan in England. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? Moo. I hope so. A lot of people have asked, do you still have the sheep and also the cows at the back of your house? The answer is yes, I do. They are still there. And as a sort of social experiment for the wildlife around here, I was wondering how sheep and cows get along, especially if they are in the same field like these. So at the back of my house there is a field with some sheep and also some cows as well. And it would appear that they get along very well, actually. The cows and the sheep don't seem to mind being in the same field. Although I have noticed that quite often they will avoid each other, so they never get very close to each other. Quite often they will be in different parts of the field. So maybe the sheep are over here, bah, bah, and over here are the cows, moo, moo. But very rarely do they actually get close together. So they seem to tolerate each other, but they don't get too close to each other. I haven't seen them yet get near to each other. So they normally stay apart. They normally keep their distance. So I hope we've cleared that one up. Here we go then, and we are here again with a special series, a special season of live streams every weekday from Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. UK time, and on Sunday as well with my usual live stream as well. Also added on to everything else that is happening during the week. Monday to Friday I'm here live for a short while, which is why I call this my quick fix, you see. It's just a short one. Just le petit English addict is what I like to say. And on Sunday, of course, we have our big, large, extra supersize live stream with Mr. Steve joining in as well. Hello to everyone. Yes, my name is Duncan. I love English. I talk about the English language. You might describe me as an English addict. And I've been doing this for quite a while, actually. Well, for about 7 minutes, in fact. But in total, I've been doing this for around about 15 years. 15 years. I washed my hat yesterday, and can you see what's happened? My number 15 has shrunk in the washing machine. It was big, and now it's small because of the hot water. I am here with you for the month of October, which is Because I'm celebrating my 15th anniversary. That is the introduction over with. And yes, we have made it to the second working day of the week. How has your week been so far? Has it been a good one, or has it been a load of rubbish? It's Tuesday. Yes, we're back, and it is Tuesday, the second working day of the week. Today we are looking at names. Yesterday, published here in England, we had the lists of the most popular names given to babies born last year. Boys' names and girls' names, and everything in between. So we are going to look at those a little bit later on, and I thought it would be fun to also ask you to tell me what the popular names are for children in your countries. So we will be looking at that a little bit later on. It is a bit of fun, so don't take it too seriously, but yes, we do have the list. And I'm very surprised to see some of the names that people in this country are giving to their children. And I think you have to be very careful when you choose a name for your child, because it has to go through its whole life with that particular name. So even if something is popular or topical, maybe there is a certain name of a celebrity and everyone wants to call their young girl Rihanna, that child has to grow up for the rest of its life being called Rihanna. It might not be popular in the future, you see. You have to be very careful what you call people when you are deciding names. And we will be looking at the top 10 names for boys and girls born last year in the United Kingdom. We have our anagram, by the way. Can you see it? There it is, just above my microphone. Today's anagram. And I suppose I should give you a clue, because this is not one word. It's actually 3 separate words. We have 5 letters, 4 letters, and 10 letters. And that's it. That's all I'm saying. No more clues. So we have 3 words, 5 letters, 4 letters, 10 letters. I will give you the answer later on, unless, of course, you know what the answer is, because I believe that you are quite the clever clogs. I think so. Here we go again. Yes, we are back. And, of course, we have the live chat as well. Nice to see the live chat here up and running. Did you see me yesterday? I don't know what was going on yesterday. I felt so tired. I had a lovely sleep yesterday afternoon. Not for a very long time, for about 40 minutes. And then I got up and I felt much better. But I don't know what was happening yesterday. I felt so tired. I had no energy. No mental energy. No physical energy. I had no will whatsoever to do anything yesterday, which can be very awkward when you are having to do a live stream in front of the whole internet. People ask, Mr. Duncan, what do you need? What do you need as a person or as a character to be on the internet? For example, here on YouTube. What do you actually need? Well, can I just say, it's not about what you do need, it's actually what you don't need. What you don't need is self-respect, dignity, or shame. So those are the three things that you need if you want to come onto YouTube and make videos or do live streams. So you don't forget about your dignity. That has to go. No dignity. There is no dignity in doing this. Your shame, you should have no shame. If you come on here, you must be willing to expose everything. Well, not quite everything. Due to YouTube's terms and conditions, you can't. And you must be completely without any self-worth. So those are my 3 tips. My 3 tips of advice if you are thinking of coming onto YouTube to do this. Forget dignity, forget your self-worth, forget all about having any shame. You've got to get rid of all of those things. And if you can, you will do very well here on YouTube. I think so. I lost my dignity a long time ago. 15 years, you see. This is what happens after 15 years of doing this. This is what it turns you into. They should use me as a warning. The next time people are talking about the dangers of being on YouTube, they should point to me and say, look, this is what you will end up like. You will end up like this poor chap. And then they will show a picture of me talking like this about things. Hello to the live chat. We have the live chat here, of course. I do believe, now this is interesting because we are talking about babies' names today. Popular names given to babies that are born into the world. And I noticed yesterday that Vitas, who is normally live with us on the chat, he's normally here first. He's normally the first person on. But yesterday he wasn't. And I was wondering why that happened. And I had my answer. I saw the answer yesterday on the live chat. Apparently, Vitas is babysitting at the moment. He's looking after a little baby, a newborn baby. So that is the reason why Vitas was a little bit late yesterday. A little bit late yesterday. I've just noticed something on my live chat. I just noticed a very naughty word come up on my live chat. Very distracting, in fact. I will get around to that in a moment. But Vitas was late yesterday because he was looking after a little baby. So I'm wondering today if Vitas is still taking care of the little baby. Let's have a look, shall we? Who was first on today's live chat? I don't know. Oh, very interesting. We have a very interesting state of affairs. By that, I mean situation. A very interesting situation taking place right now on my live chat. Because, first, it is not Vitas, so maybe Vitas is still taking care of the baby. Maybe he is having to feed it. Or maybe he is having to change its nappy. What is it about baby poop? Is it my imagination, or is baby poop the worst thing ever? The appearance, the smell, quite disgusting. How something so stinky and horrible can come out of such a cute little baby. Isn't that strange? So what are you doing then at the moment, Vitas? Because you are not first. Today it is Alexander Nemanov. You are first on today's live chat. Congratulations and celebrations. Alexander, you are first on the live chat today. We also have Marwa as well. Hello to you. Also, Vitas. Are you still taking care of the baby? Or maybe you are cleaning up the mess after looking after the baby. Who would think that such a small thing could be so much trouble and cause so many disruptions, especially at night? And I'm sure if you have a baby, or if you've had a baby in the past, you will know in the night, I don't know why, babies become very restless and they start crying for various reasons. Maybe their teeth are starting to come through. Maybe their teeth are pushing their way through the gums. And babies quite often will become distressed by that. Or maybe they are just lying in their own poop. Serena. Hello, Serena. Also, Claudia. Thank you, Claudia, for your message about certain names and what they sound like. I can't believe that you wrote that. I'm quite surprised that you wrote that, to be honest. Very surprised. Hello, Brahim. Also, Marwa. We have... Oh, very interesting. Live from Brittany. Watching us now. Luis Mendez. Hello, Luis. I hope you are having a nice time in Brittany. Very nice. And as I mentioned yesterday, part of my family originated from Brittany. Hello also to Ernesto. Hello, Ernesto. I recognise your name from somewhere. Did you used to watch me a long time ago? I feel as if I know who you are. Mr. Duncan, I have missed you. Ernesto. Hello, Ernesto. Nice to see you here. I have a feeling, a strange feeling, that you used to watch me a long time ago. Am I right or wrong? Hello also to Monicia. It's nice to see you here today. We are talking about children's names, babies' names. Well, of course, every baby is born without a name. And it is up to the parents to give that child the name that it will have to live with for the rest of its life. My parents called me Duncan. I don't know why. I never did find out why my parents called me Duncan. But I'm very glad they did, because I think my name is suitable for me. I don't know why. So perhaps I have grown up being Duncan. So that's interesting. So do you become your name? So if your parents give you a certain name, does that have some sort of effect on your character, or the way you behave in your life, or the way the direction of your life actually goes? So perhaps the name that your parents give you, your birth name, can actually have much more of an effect on your life than we realise. So I am a Duncan. The story of my birth is both sad and happy. I was born very premature. I was not expected to live. Isn't that amazing? My parents were told that there was only a small chance of me surviving. So they had to name me straight away. So they had to choose a name very fast, very quickly, because you have to put something on record as the child's name. So that's true. I was born very young, very early, and very small. I was so tiny. Apparently, you could hold me in your hand, in the palm of your hand. You could actually put me in the palm of your hand. I was so small and tiny. And my parents chose the name Duncan, and I still have it now, and I like it. I like it a lot. Hello also to Oim Oim. Nice to see you back again. I feel as if I should probably say your name with a little bit of echo. Oim Oim. It sounds like something bouncing along on springs. Hello also Beatrice. It is a wonderful view in your garden today. Things are starting to look very autumnal today, as we saw at the start of today's live stream. Yes, there it is. Outside my window now you can see one of the trees in my garden. The leaves have started to change. They are turning. That's what we normally say. When the leaves start to change colour, we often say that they are turning. That means they are changing colour. They are changing into their autumnal colours. Very nice. Hello also to Samer, and also to... Wow, so many messages coming up. I can't keep up with the messages. Hello also Beatrice. Hope you're feeling better today. Hello also Alessandra. Very nice as well. Belarusia, or should I say Claudia. Oh, about names. An Argentinian couple went to live in London and they had a child. They called him... Can I say this? See, I don't know it. I'm not sure if I can say the name. Because you know YouTube nowadays, they are very strict, quite strict. So if you want to see the name of the baby that the Argentinian couple named, you will have to look on the live chat at around about 2:16 on the live chat. So if you go to 2:16, the timestamp on the live chat, 2:16, you will see what Claudia has written. But I can't say it, you see. If I say it, then I would imagine that this video will be removed from YouTube. So I would love to say it, but it's great, Claudia, that you have written such a rude word. It seems very, very funny. I don't know why. It's a little bit it's a little bit like when Mr. Steve swears. It sounds hilarious. So whenever Steve swears, if he loses his temper, he does sometimes swear. He says words like and also like that. But whenever Mr. Steve swears or uses bad language, it always makes me laugh because it sounds so funny. His posh accent and using bad language. It sounds hilarious. I don't know why. Ernesto says, yes, I am back here after such a long time. I'm shocked. I will be honest with you. I am shocked. Eric makes a very good point. Now, many names for children are related to sports players like Neymar, Messi, Jordan, Cristiano, etc. Well, I suppose people like Cristiano Ronaldo, a very popular person, a big star. Neymar. Is Neymar a football player? You must excuse my ignorance because I'm not a sporty person. I'm not a person who often follows football. I will be honest with you. Hello, Olga. Oh, yes, very interesting. Olga says my youngest son's name is Boris. Like Boris Johnson. I chose this name before I was aware that there was a UK Boris. Well, maybe it could be named after Boris Yeltsin. Boris Yeltsin, very, very long time ago. He was one of the leaders in Russia. Boris Yeltsin. I remember Boris Yeltsin a long time ago. He was very popular, but also he was very famous for one thing. I'm not sure if you can remember, but Boris Yeltsin was always famous for one habit that he had. But no, there aren't many people called Boris around, are there? So it's still quite a unique name. It might seem as if everyone is called Boris, but they're not. So it is actually still an unusual name. Hello, TT. Is that right? Have I pronounced your name right? This topic is very interesting. Jimmy from Hong Kong cannot imagine Mr. Steve saying any of those words right now as I'm watching your live chat. It's true. Trust me. When Mr. Steve gets angry, he doesn't swear very often, but when he does, he says words like and like that. That's what he says. All of those words. all I know is now I'm worried that YouTube might have some new technology that can read people's lips. In which case, I am toast. I really am. Claudia has another story. Does it involve swearing? I have another story. A wealthy British couple came to live in Argentina and they had a baby. They decided to call her Maud Esther. And the employee registered her as Modesta, which means modest. Modesta. I have to be honest with you. I think that's a nice name. It's funny how certain names have almost a poetic sound. So I think Modesta is actually quite a nice name. Instead of Maud, Esther. They must have misheard. So when the parents were telling them what the name was, instead of calling her Maud Esther, they called her Modesta instead. So that's a good. I like that. That's a good story. But I think Modesta is quite nice as well. Diem Dang says, in the future I will give my baby the name Rosie, because Rosie is the name of my idol. That's it. So quite often, choosing the name for your child, maybe your boy or girl, can be something that is very personal to the parents. Quite often, and this is something that does happen, sometimes people will name their child after one of their relatives who has passed away. Maybe a grandparent, or maybe something that you add to a child's name, so you will always remember one of your other relatives, which I think is lovely. I really do. Christina says, I am late. Why? Why are you late? What have you been doing? What have you been doing that's more important than me? I can't imagine that. Today we're talking about babies' names. The names you give your babies, because we have a list, which we are going to look at in a moment, a list of babies' names that are popular, the top 10 names given to baby girls and baby boys in a few moments. Vitas, did we ever find out? I didn't see Vitas. Vitas, are you looking after the baby today? Are you babysitting at this moment? And if you are, what is the smell around you? Is it a nice smell? Because apparently babies smell lovely. A newborn baby has a lovely smell. I have to be honest with you, I have never sniffed a newborn baby. Don't ask me why. So I don't actually know. So come on, Vitas, are you looking after the baby today, or are you free of the baby? Oh, Vitas says yes, I am. I am looking after the baby once again. Well, I think you must be a very good babysitter. It is amazing nowadays how many people decide to have a child, but then they also want to have their busy lives as well. So quite often you will find, including here in this country, you will find quite often that the children, maybe the daughter and the son-in-law, will ask one of the parents to take care of the baby during the day because maybe they both have to work. Hello, Omar. Nice to see you back again. I'm glad to see that you've managed to find my live stream for the second time. Nice to see you back. Thank you, Omar. Thank you also to Mohammed 1401. Oh, Mayori says, I don't get the topic. We are talking about names that people give to their children. I'm going to look at some names in a moment. The names given last year by people living in England and Wales to babies. Mayora, Mayori, 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 Mayori. I have a feeling that maybe some people will be naming their baby Mayori after you. Imagine that. Imagine someone having a baby and they actually name it after you. Wow, can you imagine that? I wonder how many people have called their babies Duncan. Hello, Ernesto. Mr. Duncan, you were right. I have been watching you for many years. Yes, I do remember some of the names of people who used to watch a long time ago. So even if you don't watch me for a long time, it doesn't mean that I've forgotten you. You're still there somewhere up here in my grey matter. Or what's left of it, anyway. So let's have a look at them, shall we? I've been talking about them, so we are going to look at names given to babies here in England and Wales, and maybe this might influence you. If you are thinking of having a baby, maybe you are trying at this very moment whilst listening to me. Oh, very good. You do seem to be trying very hard. So we are talking about names that people give to their babies in England and Wales, and we are looking at the records from last year. Top 10 baby names for boys and girls. So we are going to look at the boys first. Please don't complain. Please don't say, Mr. Duncan, why are you choosing the boys first? That's very sexist of you. Are you a misogynist? Is that your problem? Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem? Is there a problem? Do you have a problem with women? No, I don't. My mother is always my best friend. And she's a woman, for goodness sake. The top 10 names for baby boys in England and Wales in 2020. So these are the records from last year in this country. Not for this year, of course, because this year hasn't finished. So let's have a look at the bottom of the list. First of all, we have Jack. Oh, okay then. Jack. I suppose Jack is a good name. Would you say? Would you say that Jack is a good name? I'm not sure. Jack. It sounds a bit like maybe a name from a fairy tale, Jack and the Beanstalk, or maybe a nursery rhyme, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after. Would you like to know where Jill landed? Let's just say 9 months later, she was also having the patter of tiny feet. Archie. Oh, okay then. Now this is interesting. Archie. Of course, Archie is also the name of one of the royal babies. I think it's, please don't correct me here, but I think it's Harry and Meghan. I think it's one of their children. I think it's their son, Archie. So his name is Archie. What else do we have on the list? Oh, we have Harry. Harry. Now, I think Harry is a good name. Harry. It sounds like a positive, strong name with strength. Harry. Like Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood, many years ago, played the part of a police officer on the streets of Los Angeles, and his name was Harry. A lot of people called him Dirty Harry, but not for reasons that you might think. Harry, yes, I think Harry is a good name. It's a very strong name. Prince Harry. Harry. Yes, I think it's a strong name. Of course, we do have Prince Harry. We have one. We have at least one Prince Harry at the moment, although he doesn't seem to be getting very, very well or getting along very well with his family at the moment. Here's another one, Oscar. Oscar. Can you see it? With 3,268 uses of Oscar. I think Oscar sounds like the name of a dog. I don't know why. It doesn't sound like a person's name. It sounds more like a dog's name. I don't know why. I'm not offending anyone by saying this, but it does sound more like a dog's name rather than a person's name. The next one, as we come to the top 5, we have Leo. Leo. Now that is a nice name, Leo. Quite often we will shorten the name Leo from Leonardo. So maybe if your name is Leonardo, maybe they will shorten or abbreviate the name to Leo. In the top 5 now, we have Mohammed, very popular name in this country, and I would imagine also around the world as well. Also, we have Noah at number 4. Noah. That's an interesting one. I've never met anyone called Noah. I will be honest with you. I can't think of anyone called Noah, except for that guy with the big boat. You know, that guy that built that really big boat and then he filled it full of animals. And then he realised that he'd made a very big mistake because he didn't know where to put all the poop. All the animal poop. Where do I put all the poop? I've built this massive boat and I've got hundreds of thousands of animals all around me, making a real terrible noise. Oh, but what am I going to do? Oh, poop. So much poop. Too much poop. And at number 3, this is a good old-fashioned name. Arthur. Oh, yes, Arthur. A lot of people think of Arthur. They think of King Arthur, maybe. King Arthur and the Round Table. The legend of King Arthur. Of course, very little is known about King Arthur. But there are many legends, a lot of folklore surrounding King Arthur. And at number 2 we have George. I suppose there is no surprise there because, again, one of the royal babies in this country is called George. And of course, I suppose you can have the female name Georgina. Georgina for a girl. George for a boy. And at number 1, now this is interesting. I have to be honest with you. When I saw this, I was shocked. I was surprised to find that the most popular name given to a boy born last year, Oliver. Oliver. I find that strange because we used to have a cat many years ago when I was living at home with my parents. We used to have a cat called Oliver. And also there is a famous character, one of Charles Dickens' characters called Oliver Twist as well. So there they are. A list of boys' names, the most popular names given to boys last year. Oh. Flyaway says, what about Oscar Wilde? Could Oscar Wilde be a dog's name? Well, maybe you can have a wild dog. Maybe the dog is very aggressive and gets angry all the time. You might call it Oscar the Wild Dog. You see? So it does work. It does. Honestly. Flyaway says Oscar and Oliver are the best two names from that list. Of course, Olga. Yes, Olga, you are right. There is also Arthur Conan Doyle, the famous author. He was also very much into spiritualism and science fiction. Did you know that? The author called Arthur Conan Doyle. He wrote the Sherlock Holmes stories. And there was, or there is, a theory that Sherlock Holmes, the stories of Sherlock Holmes, are actually science fiction. Did you know that? Because it's believed in some of the stories that Sherlock Holmes actually has some sort of psychic power or is able to know things through some paranormal source. It's true. Look it up. Hello, Christina. Oliver Hardy. Yes, of course. One of the famous silent comedians. Of course, he used to perform and he used to do his comedy routines alongside. I can't hear you. You'll have to shout much louder. Stan Laurel. Stanley. That's a great name. Stanley. There aren't many people called Stanley anymore. You don't hear of many people called Stanley. It seems like an old-fashioned name. But yes, the most popular name for boys, new baby boys last year, Stanley. No, Oliver. I'm getting confused now. Here we go. Girls' names. I know you're waiting for them, so here they are right now. Popular girl names for baby girls last year. Ooh. Oh. So at number 10, we have Sophia. Sophia. I like that name. Sophia. Like the famous actress, Sophia Loren. A wonderful actress. And I used to always like her sunglasses. She used to wear the biggest sunglasses I've ever seen. Many female stars of the 1950s and 1960s, and maybe also into the 1970s, they would always wear, if they were going out into a public place, they would always wear huge sunglasses. They were so big. And Sophia Loren was one of those actresses. At number 9, we have Rosie. Rosie. I like that. That is quite a positive name, Rosie. Everything is rosy. Everything is nice and colourful, fragrant and beautiful. So at number 9, Rosie. At number 8, Isabella. What an interesting name. I was going to say strange. What a strange name to choose. Isabella. It sounds like something from Victorian times. And then we have Lily. Lily. Yes, I suppose Lily would be a popular name. A very beautiful name. Like the lily of the valley. And, at number 5, that's interesting. Sorry, number 6, Ivy. Very interesting, Ivy. So Ivy is also a very popular name given to girls last year. Ivy. How interesting. That also happens to be Mr. Steve's mother's name. Her name is Ivy. Number 5, Mia. 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 It almost sounds like the sound that a cat makes. Mia. 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 Of course, famous actress, Mia Farrow. Very well-known actress. You don't see her very much anymore, but she's been in a lot of films. A lot of big movies. And where are we? Number 4. Number 4, Ava. Really? Interesting. Ava. A-V-A. Ava. That's a simple one. And at number 3, Isla. So I-S-L-A is pronounced Isla. Isla. And Isla, I think it's a Scottish name. I might be wrong there. It is, I think it's a Scottish name, Isla. And at number 2, Amelia. This is fascinating, by the way. I can't believe that these names are being used now. Amelia. So this also sounds like a very old name. An old-fashioned name. Amelia. There was, of course, a famous woman many years ago called Amelia Earhart. And she flew off one day in an aeroplane and she was never seen again. She vanished. And to this very day, no one knows what happened to her. Not one. And at number 1, the most popular girl's name given to babies last year, newborn baby girls, Olivia. Olivia. Again, I'm not sure why. Are there any famous people called Olivia? I suppose I can think of one, Olivia Newton-John, but not many people nowadays have heard of her because she was around in the 1970s and 1980s. Olivia, very interesting. So there they are. The top 10 names for baby boys and also baby girls. This list was compiled last year. So these are all names given during that time. Yes, it's very interesting how different names are given in different parts of the world. So what about where you are? Are there any popular names? Many names that we use here, such as John, David. So they are common names. I suppose I would describe those as names that are given commonly to people. I have Steve here. Steve is another one. Steve or Stephen, common name and also very popular. Serena, are there any royal names for the girls? I think Elizabeth. Whenever I think of royal names, I always think of Elizabeth. I think Elizabeth has a very regal sound. It sounds royal, don't you think? Elizabeth. Victoria. That's another one. Victoria. And I think Victoria is also a nice name. Victoria, Elizabeth. So those are two good ones. Oh, Christina. Thank you, Christina, for reminding me. Olivia de Havilland, a famous movie actress from many years ago. You are right. Yes, well done. Thank you, Christina, for reminding me of that as well. Flyaway says, what about Ava Gardner, another actress who is no longer around, but she was in many, many movies, I think in the 1950s, maybe late 40s, 1950s. So that's good, yes, good, well done. I will be going in a moment. Before I go, of course, I am going to give you the answer to the anagram that has been sitting on my microphone all through this live stream. And I'm going to give you the answer in a moment, and I hope you got it right. Did you get it right? I hope so. Here it comes then. Here is the answer to today's anagram on my microphone. Coming up right now. I told you it was 3 separate words. This is something that might be a good piece of advice for those learning English. Here it is. Build your confidence. Build your confidence. To build your confidence is to do something that you feel more happy or more relaxed when you are doing it. For example, learning English. And I think one of the hardest parts of learning English is confidence, especially when it comes to speaking the language, to saying words, to speaking in front of anyone really, native speakers, or maybe just your friends in your local area. It can be difficult at first, but as I always say, the more you do something, the more confident you will feel doing it. And the more confident you become, the more you enjoy doing that thing. And slowly over time, your confidence will grow. It will build. Practice and doing things every day, practicing new words. Maybe you can practice in front of the mirror and watch yourself whilst using English. You can use your phone to record your voice or maybe your face. You can record yourself as you are using English. So there are many ways of building your confidence. And yes, it is a very important part of learning not only English, but anything, to be honest, anything at all. Thank you very much for your company. I hope you've enjoyed this live stream. It is much better than yesterday. I was very sleepy. I was suffering from fatigue yesterday, which basically means I was tired. But today I feel much better. Thank you very much. That is a nice message, Mr. Duncan, from your anagram. Yes, I think so. I think that is a very nice message to take away. Build your confidence. It is a great way of improving anything that you are doing in your life. It doesn't have to be English. It can be anything at all. Building your confidence, learning to enjoy the things that you are doing is a very good way of becoming more competent. Thank you very much. Thank you, Beatrice. I will see you again tomorrow. Yes. I am back with you tomorrow from 2 p.m. UK time, and I hope you will join me tomorrow. It is Wednesday tomorrow, and we will be halfway through the week. So I hope you will join me tomorrow from 2 p.m. UK time, and we will do this all over again. I can't believe that I've been here for almost 1 hour today. So this was not really a quick fix. It was actually a 1 hour long English addict. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. I will give you one of my super duper special waves. Catch you tomorrow. I hope to see you all here, and we will do this all over again. Yeah! Is that good news? I hope so. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for joining me today as we approach 3 o'clock. Have a good day wherever you are in the world. Stay happy. Keep that smile on your face. And I will see you tomorrow. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.